The Black Phone is directed by Scott Derrickson, who directed Sinister, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, and Doctor Strange, the first film, and tells the story of a boy who lives in a pretty dysfunctional house life with his sister. He doesn't have much friends at school. He gets picked on a lot. And when a child abductor named the Grabber abducts him and locks him under his basement with walls that are soundproof and everything, and is going to plan on killing him soon, possibly, he starts seeing or hearing dead people's voices, and they are the victims of the killer's past, and they're trying to help him find a way to escape out of the basement and try to get to freedom before the Grabber eventually kills him as well. Now, Scott Derrickson was fired from the second Doctor Strange and immediately went ahead and started working on this. I thought he was a pretty good director in Sinister, and I really enjoyed his take on Doctor Strange, and I was very interested to see him come back to the horror genre and see what he could do with a short story like this and try to expand it into a feature-length film. And to my surprise, they actually adapted the short story very well. The story itself is simple, the pacing is tight, it never overstays its welcome. It is the perfect comfort horror film that I love to see. Seeing this kid trying to find a way to escape while this mass killer is right next in the next room to him and is waiting for the right opportunity to kill him. It's just, there's a lot of tension, surprisingly, in the story that quite possibly would be tensionless, honestly. I could imagine this film really not working for me, but for some reason, because I cared about the characters and the victims from the past, I was able to get behind the story. And that is due to the first act establishing everything very well. The town, the characters, the atmosphere, the problems. The first act very much set up everything you need to know. And the final act pays off everything that we have known from before really well. And the second act is basically our main character trying to take what he has learned from before, try to apply it to the situation, and basically find a way out. And what I also love about the film is that they portrayed his home life really dysfunctionally, and not just his home life, but also the town itself. A town that's filled with a lot of untrustworthy people, and it's believable for a killer like the Grabber to be in this town, snatching up kids and just killing them, doing all kinds of bloody things to them. The whole atmosphere of the film was just creepy, and that is where I'm gonna start praising the horror aspects. The elements of horror and tension were all very well done. Whenever there was a jump scare, it's never cheap. The jump scare shows you something truly horrifying and lingers on it. You get that big sound, you get that gasp, but you don't get that relief because you're staring at something extremely unsettling. And that's how you do jump scares, not just a cheap boom and don't worry, it's just me or something like that. I always hated those kinds of false jump scares. I like something like the Black Phone. And overall, it's not just that, it's also the tension the way sets are made, how things are placed around. The grabber himself and the performance by Ethan Hawke was incredible. All the performances are also very good from the kids. Everyone was really believable, and I did buy the relationship the boy had with his sister. And even though they aren't in the film together too much, you can still sense that bond between them, even when the boy is eventually alone. Just overall, this was a really good horror film. I could find very little problems to say. I will say that the detective aspect, as usual with most movies for me, is not as interesting to me. I just find detective aspects of films just necessary to the film, but nothing I'm really engaged with. I'm more engaged with the story, with our main characters trying to find a way to survive. And I've always found myself wanting to cut back to the real meat of the story. But overall, Scott Derrickson's direction, the screenplay, the horror aspects, the characters, the actors, the cinematography, the editing, pretty much everything else about the film, I thought worked extremely well, and I would highly recommend it. I'm going to give The Black Phone an A-. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys next time.